it. Can you define socialism? Now, I know what the definition of socialism is. And I think I know what the definition they're going to go with is. Again, I have not watched this video. None of the videos I'm going to go on do on stream here I have watched. So their definition is probably going to be something along the lines of government. The government does something, and that's socialism. Actual socialism is, of course, the control of the workplace by the workers, colloquially referred to as the workers seizing the means of production. So let's see what they say.
A little leftist guy on campus just called.
Oh, that's a little loud for me.
Campus security on me and Alex because we hurt his feelings. He said we're riling people up as we're here asking questions. I said, why don't you chat with me? Why don't you have a chat discussion? He said no, and just called security. What's up, guys? This is Will.
Yeah, if, like, most college campuses are private spaces, so if you're causing a nuisance, you can be asked to leave. Like, sorry, you don't get special dispensation because you run a fake internet university.
With Prager U, and 70% of millennials say they would likely vote for a socialist. We're here at Cal State LA asking people if they can even define what socialism is and seeing.
Oh, this should be fun. This should be fun.
What they think about capitalism. Let's do it. How would you define socialism?
Socialism. That's a good question. I don't even know what that is. I mean, I know what it is, but I can't think right now. It's just so good.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like socializing with others, like getting to know somebody, or what?
The
politics.
Yeah, like the economic system.
I think it's like equality for all.
Isn't it like sharing, like everything is evenly distributed throughout to everybody?
It's more like a helping everyone else. It's like if you have enough, why not give to who doesn't have it?
How would you define capitalism?
I don't know what that is.
Fair enough. No, that's okay. That's why I'm here. I'm here to educate. How would you define capitalism?
Capitalism is evil. I think it gives like a running start to most people who have the money for it, but it gives a really big disadvantage for people who are like in the lower class, middle class.
So capitalism is like, imagine you have $5 and I have a sandwich and you want that sandwich and I want $5. We then trade. And now I have the $5 and you have the same.
Okay. No. It's actually kind of funny. They managed to find the least informed people on a college campus. But that's not to be surprising. They probably spent all day to get this 6 minutes of footage. No. Capitalism means that there is a capital which can be accrued by individuals. This is the theory behind the profit motive, which is the motive for creation. Well, yeah, of course, Doug. They picked not only they picked the worst people to ask, they picked the worst questions. That green-haired chick. What did she say about socialism?
Throughout to everybody.
It's more like a helping everyone else. It's like if you have enough.
Yeah, she strikes me as someone who has heard from people that capitalism is bad and socialism is good, but hasn't looked into what those mean. Yeah, she can't explain her problems, but she is definitely she is someone who knows the answers but can't get to the answers, which is also a problem, and why she's being featured.
Why not give to who doesn't have it?
Want that a product and then sell sellers. We then trade, and now I have the $5 and you have the sandwich. It's like a voluntary exchange of goods, you know what I mean? Like a business makes a product and then sells it to someone else. It's like voluntary, you know, you choose, you know, versus like the government, should be like socialism, the government coming in and saying, you need to.
There it is. The government is socialism. I was waiting for it. Yes, the government is socialism. Yeah, I don't. No, he's wrong. He,
Give her a phone because she doesn't have one, redistributing the wealth.
Now.
yes, wealth gets redistributed in a number of ways, even in a capitalist system. Unfortunately, most of our systems of wealth redistribution redistribute them up. They go up the chain, and they don't come back down. I actually saw an interesting thing about this. Someone from way back in the day said something to the effect of, this is actually where the trickle-down economics came from, was something to the effect of, Mr. Hoover doesn't thinks all the money trickles down from the top, so he gives it all to the top people. What he doesn't understand is money trickles up. If he puts the money in poor people's hand, it'll be in the rich people's hand by nightfall, but at least it'll be in the poor people's hand first. And that's sort of more or less the number one issue with a lot of neoliberal and neoconservative, there's not much difference at this point, economics, which is that they think that if they give money to the rich people, they'll reinvest it in the economy, because poor people will just spend it on food and clothes and stuff, not understanding that spending it on food and clothes and stuff is the same as giving it to the rich people, but poor people get things they want first. It's an exercise left to the viewer whether this is deliberate or not.
I'm getting the gist of what you're saying.
Would you say you're like a fan of like socialized medicine, something like that? Free healthcare in the American system.
Of course. I definitely do stand by the truth that Medicare is a right, not a privilege.
Do you trust the government?
No.
No? So imagine if the government, who you don't...
No, we don't trust the government, which is why we need to make sure that we elect people into the government who we do trust. People think the government is some monolithic entity that works absent the people within it. No, it is made up of people. And if you put people in place whom you trust, the government becomes trustworthy. Right now, I don't trust the government because most of the people in there are not trustworthy, with one or two obvious exceptions.
You don't trust was now running your healthcare and telling you what kind of services you had to get with your healthcare.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be okay with that.
Right? Like, you've been to the DMV before?
Yes.
Yeah. See, like, how terrible DMV is awful?
It's really bad. It's really bad, yeah.
Now, imagine if the people who worked in the DMV then did your healthcare.
It would be horrible. Like, it would just...
It's not a good move.
No.
The DMV is something that people need occasionally, and often, if not all at once, then many people will need it simultaneously. Whereas medical care is something people need constantly, and we can build around that need. The reason why the DMV is such a nightmare is because it can only handle a few people at a time. Now, I've often gone to the DMV, been the only one in line, I'm in and out in 10 minutes. But I have been there when they're busy, and it takes a little bit longer because they have to go through everything with everyone. If everybody needed to renew their license once a month, once a week, we would have more DMV. This is why this is a fatuous argument. You're comparing something people need occasionally, and more importantly, is not life-threatening. If you have to wait an hour or 3 in the DMV you're not going to die. It's inconvenient. It may be difficult for you because of work or other things, which are other issues that can be addressed. It may be difficult for you to find the time to do that. That is certainly legitimate. But you're not going to die. Whereas with medicine, if you wait too long, you may die. So.
Not at all. Do you think that would be very good healthcare?
Nah.
That's like with socialism would
No, if we applied the same rules to the DMV as we did to Medcare, no, it would be a bad thing. But fortunately, that's not what anyone is proposing.
kind of be like when you put bureaucrats in charge of industry. Like bureaucrats in government who are now running all the things in your life instead of you running it for yourself.
Bureaucrats run everything in our lives already. It's just that they do it through some sort of intermediary, whether that's the boss of your company or the person who deals with your taxes, or whether it's, if you are one of the fortunate people who happen to be on Medicare, the bureaucrats who hire medical professionals and billing professionals to make sure that it works properly. The wonderful thing about bureaucrats is that they know they're good at nothing, so they just try to sit in an office and get paid to push paperwork and pay other people to make actual decisions. Ideally.
It's very easy to spend someone else's money when it's not yours. After that, do you think you would...
It's all our money, you douchebag. That's what these people don't get. They're like, well, do you want to spend your money? Wait, did they cut away from her before she answered? Because I'll bet she said yes.
Still, that would be very good healthcare.
Nah.
That's like what socialism would kind of be like when you put bureaucrats in charge of industry. Like bureaucrats in government who are now running all the things in your life instead of you running it for yourself. It's very easy to spend someone else's money when it's not yours. After that, do you think you would...
Yeah, it's all our money. Again, it's not Trump's money. It's not McConnell's money. It's our money. Everyone who pays taxes, which is 80% of the people in the 80% of the adults in America, more than that, there are all of us pay taxes. It's all our money. And instead they want to make sure there's enough money in there so that they can build another battleship to go to war with another country that we could annihilate with 1/10 of our current arsenal.
Still want to support socialism in America?
Nah.
If I give you this straw man version of socialism, which is obviously wrong on its surface, do you still support it?
So a leftist student on campus just called campus security on us because apparently we were terrorizing people and riling people.
I wonder how he knows he's leftist. He's kind of assuming that, I'm guessing. I don't know, let's see.
Pull up with our dangerous, horrible ideas. Let's see what these people have to say.
I mean, you're objectively walking around telling lies. I mean, whether that's actually disruptions, that's a debate we can have. But you're objectively walking around telling lies. So.
Hi, there are two people on our campus right here who are with a conservative group who are here to try to fearmonger students. Prager U, like Prager University, but they're not an actual legitimate university. Well, they're going up to students and they're trying to ask them questions and such.
The goal.
I can go. Could you remove these two from the campus, please? The reason? Because they're here to fearmonger students, and that's not okay. Fearmonger? Yeah. Because these are people who are coming in and instigating and terrorizing our students on this campus, and that's not okay. I think all that
Are they telling you that you can't leave the area? Are they threatening you specifically in any way?
Not specifically. They're threatening me with their language, with their ideals.
Unfortunately, I mean, if your ideals or their language doesn't conform to what you're...
This is why you need to be prepared to talk to these people immediately. You need to be able to confront people when they're being like this. It's irrelevant. If he had been someone who could argue the position and why they need to leave, maybe he would have talked them into leaving. They would have gone to a different campus or come back a different day. Calling campus security on them is a waste. At best, they leave with a story for the description or that they can put in a recording later. At worst, you get this situation where someone who is already described as a leftist, they got their I voted sticker there. They can very easily paint this as liberal thought policing. So when you encounter a situation like this, really, you have two options. If you feel strong enough in your skills in rhetoric and convictions to speak with them, go and do it, by all means. Otherwise, walk away. Because if you engage with them, the best case scenario is you end up on the cutting room floor. This is propaganda. Prager U is propaganda.
Your thinking is? That's
Well,
what freedom of speech is.
It's not
so
my
if you
thinking,
agree with
it's-
something, he agrees with something else, then you guys agree to disagree.
So there's nothing you guys can do?
No, sir, that's freedom of speech.
So that means they're allowed to terrorize students by using
Once
their...
again, terrorize is the word that you're using. That's your opinion. I'm here to...
Yeah, even I wouldn't characterize what they're doing as terrorizing. They're propagandizing. It really depends on how legal it is on what the rules of the college campus are. Whether what they're doing is wrong or not. They're definitely not terrorizing anyone.
help you as
They're just bothering people.
much as you can, but I'm trying to figure out what law they're breaking right now. So I'm trying to figure that out. That's why I'm asking you. You just keep giving me ideas, your opinions.
As you can see, leftists don't support freedom of speech. I have dangerous ideas. I have ideas that are so terrible he can't even...
Tolerance of intolerance, yes. The intolerance fallacy. Any society which tolerates unlimited free speech inevitably falls to opponents of actual free speech, because they will push out anyone who is different. We have to maintain intolerance of hate speech and speech which... Now, let me also be clear. None of what they've engaged in is intolerable speech. At least from what we saw. Now, for all we know, there was one clip that was that no one saw where he talked to a black person and explained why they were dumber because of insert race realism ideas. But that's unlikely. So, no, I support their right to do this, just as I support our right to walk up to them and tell them why they're wrong and explain that they are causing harm with these videos, because under the guise of an educational institution, they are spreading propaganda. None of what they said is true. None of what they've said is correct. They're funded by oil billionaires, fracking billionaires, and we have to push back against this. So please, I don't leave my house. I'm a hermit. If you see these people out on the street, talk to them. Tell them why they're wrong.
Say what they are. They will not allow a difference of opinion on their campus that doesn't conform to their leftist agenda. Thank you. Did you learn anything?
A lot, actually, yes.
All of it lies.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
You learn anything?
Yeah, I did actually. So I'm anti-socialist now, I guess.
There we go. That's right, man. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I love making a video like.
To be honest, I'm not worried about the people in these videos. If a 6-second conversation with this dipshit was able to convince them, then they probably don't have very strong beliefs. Because it's very easy when you're willing to lie, to come up with situations which make any system sound bad. It's not even hard.